Hey guys, welcome to today's episode of the Corner Store. It's your boy Joe Cadet, and I'm gonna get right into it. So as of last Friday, we heard that Jon Gruden, former coach of the Las Vegas Raiders, we saw that 10 years ago in emails, private emails to Bruce Allen, he called the NFLPA, the director of the NFLPA, DeMaurice Smith, he said racial tropes against him, saying things like his lips are as big as Michelin tires. Okay, so we hear that Gruden called his team out prior to the emails being leaked. That email being leaked, I should say. That email being leaked on Friday. He calls his team to a meeting Thursday, or he talks about it on Saturday, the team meeting before. They go and play the Chicago Bears. Sunday afternoon, they lose to the Chicago Bears. I believe it was a score of 20-9. I want to say 20-9. And Gruden commented. He said he apologized for offending anybody for the terms that he used. Okay. Monday morning comes, emails are leaked of Jon Gruden and Bruce Allen, where you could see where there's emails of them sharing women with only bikini bottoms, using a gay slur directed towards Roger Goodell, talking about the national anthem thing that happened in 2016, saying other misogynistic things such as women don't deserve to be in the NFL, things of that nature. We see that the emails were spanning from 2011 to 2018. Ironically, right before he was hired as the Raiders head coach. Immediately, Jon Gruden resigned, and we're here now. Everybody seems to have an opinion on the Jon Gruden situation. But I'm going to tell you guys the real. I'm going to tell you guys what you guys really need to hear, what is really important. And just to whoever is on either side, just to think about things. The first thing, in the climate that we are in socially, what Jon Gruden or what the Raiders did, what Jon Gruden and the Raiders came up with in the resignation of Jon Gruden was absolutely the right thing to do. The more I'm happy I didn't talk about this early in the week, and I've taken time to read everything to just calm down, because when I first heard about this Jon Gruden stuff, I was pissed off. Not in the fact that Jon Gruden is using these words and terms, is the fact that these messages were so long ago. These were private messages. And the more and more I'm looking at messages for the women that's watching, I apologize when I say this, but let's be honest. The messages were the emails were guys, like, it was guy talk. I'll be honest with you. The emails were guy talk. The emails were what you would see in a typical guy group message. Is it wrong? No, but I mean, is it wrong? Is it right? I should say. No, it's not right. However, it's a group message of guys that was private. All those emails were private and were leaked because of the Washington Redskins ongoing investigation, which I'm going to talk about in a little bit. However, in the climate that we are in, public perception reigns over anything else. So, if the Raiders were to keep Jon Gruden, the public perception would be the Raiders condone the use of those languages, I can't pronounce it. Right? I can't say it right now. These terms that are meant to hurt, whether it's women, African Americans, the LGBTQ community, all that stuff. Next, I want to say, like I said, the Raiders, Jon Gruden, their plan on that was perfect, because if Jon Gruden stays with the team any second longer after those emails were leaked, every question, and it's still happening. All this week with the Raiders, you still heard, like, over the press conference, you still saw most of the questions were towards Jon Gruden and how players felt or reacted or feel about the man, about the messages, all that stuff. Now, let's focus on the emails. There's three things we need to focus on. The emails themselves, the time frame, and who are those emails directed to. Those are the three things we need to talk about. Because I feel like everything I've seen, all the little, I don't really watch sports media anymore, but I watched a little bit I wanted to watch sports media because I wanted to see who's going to be the hypocrites. That's the real reason why I was watching sports media a little bit. So I watch, sprinkle in a few clips on YouTube of the shows. I'm not going to tell you guys what shows I'm watching, but you guys should know, to see how are these guys, which in their past have used those same words, without a doubt. Maybe it's not. Maybe it won't see the light the way Jon Gruden's past saw the light. But they've all used those words. So first, let's focus on the emails. So these emails were ranging from 2011 to, let's say, 2018. You could kind of decipher where, like, each email that was publicly put out about the women, about the gay slur, about DeMaurice Smith, you could know when those emails were put out because of the time frame. So there's an email with Jon Gruden and Bruce Allen, the former GM of the Washington Redskins, where they talked about the national anthem and what's going on. And in one of the emails, they talk about how Roger Goodell, the players want Roger Goodell to back them in the Colin Kaepernick situation. Jon Gruden, I don't have it here. I'm trying to go verbatim, but Jon Gruden basically says, "Oh, you have the players want Roger Goodell to be behind them. Roger Goodell's going to keep hiding in that concussion tent the whole time." I'm going to elaborate on that in a few, because there's another one. The concussion protocol. So the media tries to spin it saying that Jon Gruden he's against the concussion protocol and whatnot. Jon Gruden and most people who love the game of football, concussions has put a damper on football, rightfully or wrongfully so. We understand concussions. We understand we understand how dangerous it can be, especially long term when you get older. But with all of these facts with concussions, and I see this a lot, especially in the high school level, parents are now 4 or 5 times less likely to have their kid play football. That's why, to me, here in New York, there's not that much football players coming out. If that makes sense. There's not that much football players coming out, because the parents are fearful of the concussion thing. Yes, concussions are something to be taken seriously, but if the game is taught the right way, the number one thing that Roger Goodell should have been saying, because a lot of these things, yes, yes. Jon Gruden is using these bad words. Okay, that's without a doubt. He's using these bad words, but it's all directed to one person. And at that time, the people who were I don't know the Bible verse exactly, but Jesus says, "Thou without sin cast the first stone." All I'm seeing throughout the media is people without sin just throwing stones at Jon Gruden. Because at the same time, all of these things, the Morris Smith, the Roger Goodell comments, this was the same thing we was talking about back then. How bad Roger Goodell is, how Roger Goodell is hiding behind in Jon Gruden's word, he's hiding under the tent. The whole concussion thing, pure football. People who love the game of football understood. Like me personally, I understand concussions. I'm not gonna go and research concussions. Yes, naive of me, but I love the game of football so much. I don't want learning about concussions in depth to mess up my view of what the game has given to me. I understand. That's another thing. We never take accountability or understand the consequences we put ourselves in for any decision that we make. I feel like that's top 3 biggest problems we have in society. Jon Gruden is trying to protect the game. Jon Gruden feels like there was another way to talk about concussions and not scare off the kids of tomorrow. So they could play the game. They could understand the value the game has. Understand the life lessons that the game will teach. Beautiful life lessons, by the way. Now, next. To go back to Roger Goodell, right? The national anthem thing. Jon Gruden did not once, in the emails that were given to us, Jon Gruden did not once talk about how terrible like the Colin Kaepernick thing is for the league. He didn't say none of that. He talked about when it came to the players wanted Goodell's backing. He was like, "Oh, like you won't have Goodell's backing in this. The same way that the concussion people didn't have Goodell's backing, the same way that the players didn't have Goodell's backing during the lockout. This is all like, these are the things that Jon Gruden was trying to say. Like, I don't understand where these bad intentions are coming from people. Okay, are they explicit? Yes, they are. Using words that, if you go deep enough in many people's past, you will find them using those words. Oh, well, I guess it wasn't. I guess the thing is, there's like a 4 to 5 4 to 5 year grace period, I guess. So if you haven't said it after 5 years, it's all right. It's all right. That's what we saw when the first report came out, because the email where Gruden says the Morris Smith has lips as big as Michelin tires was 10, 11 years ago. So we're like, okay, we'll let it pass. But now since, first of all, the last email, maybe the women email might be 2018 email, maybe. But the Colin Kaepernick thing was 2016, guys. It's 2021. That's 5 years ago. To me, that's past the statute of limitation. You also have the thing. I want to say this. The thing about Jon Gruden. Jon Gruden is the perfect football coach. Jon Gruden takes people when it comes to recruitment, whether it works or not. I can't judge, because this right here was supposed to be the year where he starts playoffs start coming in. Playoffs where it's supposed to be the Raiders making the playoffs this year is supposed to be the number one thing on this list, regardless. But Jon Gruden has brought people from all areas of life. He's had the first openly gay player, Carl Nassib. He's had bad people. I don't want to use the word I wanted to use. Has bad people, locker room distractions, people that reporters, analysts have given up on. He's had all these type of personalities and brought them together, and had the first 3 weeks had them all playing. Is that a bad guy? Is that a guy that's racist? Is that a guy that's misogynistic? Is that a guy that's homophobic? I guess from the emails he is. I guess. The cancel culture society needs to be stopped. To go back to that point, he without sin should cast the first stone. That's exactly what cancel culture is. People on there reaching, trying to dig deep enough in people's past to. The whole cancel culture thing is beyond me, to be honest with you guys. Like, I don't understand. A lot of things are in theory amazing. If you ever read the Communist Manifesto, communism in theory is amazing. However, things in practice, you can have a theory, but in practice, it's just terrible. Communism. I'm going to leave it at that. So now, cancel culture. We try to dig into people's past. And the thing is, it's certain people. It's not everybody. It's certain people. I don't know what Jon Gruden did to these people to call about the cancel culture society. But what they did to this man, it's not about. I was talking to my friend. It's not about the fact that this man got fired, he resigned. It's not about his job. It's about his character now. His character now is being questioned. The fact that people are now questioning, is he a good guy? That's what I'm still furious about. The fact that, okay, John, you could say he's ego driven. I think that's the biggest thing. Just looking at, of course I don't know him personally, but just looking at him from afar, I think that would be the biggest issue people have with him, is the fact that he's very ego driven. And he's like a in your face type of guy. However, besides that, what's the problem with Jon Gruden? Why have Jon Gruden in this situation? The cancel culture needs to go away. Jon Gruden, was it right for him to get fired? Yes, I believe it was right for him to get fired. Just for the image of the Raiders and in this society. Maybe 15 years ago, I wouldn't have said that. But in this state that we're in, yes, it was important for him to get away from the team. But for people out here with platforms trying to demonize the guy, degrade the guy, nah, I'm not on this show. I'm not doing that, because there's things in my past that I'm not gonna say I'm not proud of. I'm not gonna say that. But there's things in my past I've said. There's things I've said. There's things I've written. There's things. If you guys look deep enough, if you're trying to cancel me, you guys you can see that. I can't do nothing about it. That was in the past. I'm just moving on forward with the future. But apparently, if you want things to get done, you gotta go into people's past. Now it puts me in to this conversation now, because as more as came out, we had to ask another two questions. There was a whole Washington football team investigation. I believe it stems from the misconducts, the sexual harassments, all that stuff from GM Bruce Allen, Dan Snyder, all those things. There are 600,000 emails that were confiscated, that were seized, whatever word you want to say. 600,000 emails. How come the Jon Gruden emails were this important to leak out? Why were Jon Gruden's emails this? And Jon Gruden's email, at most, maybe over 100. That's less than 1% of the 600,000 that they have. And there was a report saying that, the other emails are not going to get leaked out. Also, if I am a Washington football fan, first of all, I wouldn't be a Washington football team fan. And this is no hate. Like I hate the Eagles, but Washington, I have no problem with them. They do get a little bit annoying when they have some success. They're not used to it. That's my conclusion from that. However, if I'm a Washington football fan, as much as it sucks to say, but I'm not going to the game on Sunday. I'm not. The way that they just put up Sean Taylor as a ornament, as a distraction, is tasteless, disgusting, all the above. That man brought back Washington football. That man was the reason why a lot of people maybe looked into a Redskins game. Maybe looked into, maybe I might like this team, with this team that had Clinton Portis as well, Chris Cooley. And I was watching Clinton Portis' podcast with Shannon Sharp. The way that Washington has been disrespecting Sean Taylor since his death is a disgrace. If I'm a Washington football team fan, I'm not going to that game. I'm personally not supporting that team for the rest of the season unless those emails come out to see what's going on. Either the emails come out, Dan Snyder leaves, he sells the team. That's the only two things I'm doing. I'm not supporting that team no more, because from Jon Gruden's getting all this heat. Now that the heat is starting to, as Jon Gruden is starting to try to fade away, the next logical thing is to put the heat on the Washington football team. People go back into the investigation, understand the multiple sexual harassment allegations, the multiple sexual assault allegations. Actually, both of them, I think, different stuff. So to quiet or distract the fans, Sean Taylor announced on Wednesday Sean Taylor's jersey is going to get retired on Sunday. I know. I went to Eli's jersey retirement. That happened. They told me about that during the summer. They have to you have to build the hype for that. It's not just it's not a injury report. That's something that you're supposed to put out. Business wise, it makes sense to put it out early on in the season, because you're gonna have people from all over, Sean Taylor fans, to come and see that. It's just Wednesday. You knew that the story's gonna blow over, maybe come to you, and then I'm so happy that justice will be served on Sunday, because they had to go see the Chiefs. The Chiefs should put 60 on them, because that team is a disgrace. I never thought I'll say a team besides the Eagles, is a disgrace. But right now, the Washington football team is a disgrace at this moment. And my thing with Jon Gruden, there's no ill will. I don't think of anything that Jon Gruden said. It wasn't towards a group of people or anything. It was individualized. The women thing, that one, you could say, women don't need to be in the NFL or whatnot. I get it. As someone that I'm very, I guess you call me old school, conservative, whatever. Do I think women could be in the NFL, let's say as coaches, refs? Yes, I do. I 100% believe that. However, as a player, understanding the male ego, I wouldn't push my daughter to football. I'm just gonna leave it at that. I'm not gonna push my daughter to football. And yeah, that's my thoughts on Jon Gruden and all that stuff. Now let's talk about the real stuff. Now let's talk about real football. Let me start. Let me give a shout out to Lamar Jackson. Some people, some fans on here think I hate Lamar Jackson. I adore Lamar Jackson. I'm not going to say adore. I like Lamar Jackson. Lamar Jackson on Monday Night Football had 499 yards of the Ravens' 523 yards. Lamar, and no, guys. Lamar did not rush for 395 yards. No, he didn't do that. He didn't do that. Lamar Jackson, the more and more I watch him, and I think I might do a in-depth video on Lamar Jackson. I'm gonna try and watch every snap from this season. It's about to be 5-6 games. The Ravens aren't a good team. From first glance, watching them against the Colts on Monday night, watching them against the Chiefs 2 weeks ago or 3 weeks ago, the Ravens are not a good team. Yes, injuries, they have a plethora of injuries. However, the Ravens, as constructed right now, are not a good team. You could take people there. Like you could take people like Marquise Brown. He's starting to come of age. Patrick Queen, I like him. A lot of people don't like the linebackers on the Ravens, but I like Patrick Queen. Calais Campbell, he's shown signs. He's a little older, but he's shown signs. However, the only reason why this team is 4-1 is because of Lamar Jackson. Lamar Jackson. Oh, I forgot about Justin Tucker. Lamar Jackson. What Lamar Jackson makes making a defense for him that week almost impossible. You could say, usually you could say, I'm losing my train of thought. Usually you could say, rushers, contain. Protect your gap, contain. Corners, beat up the receivers, follow them, man coverage, have a spy. Lamar Jackson, maybe it's Lamar Jackson. I don't think Kyler Murray's in Lamar Jackson's level in this sense. Lamar Jackson, he is such an athlete where, to be honest, you have to make the spy a corner or a safety. If the spy is a linebacker, unless I think he's Devin White, maybe Devin Bush. I was going to say Darius Leonard, but it didn't work out well for the Colts last week. But you have to be a very athletic linebacker to keep up with Lamar Jackson, to make sure that you break down and tackle, wrap up Lamar Jackson. Because Lamar Jackson, he's gonna hit you with the little in and out thing, and he's gone for 20, 30 yards. And the way he accelerates, He's going 50% the first 5-6 yards. Then when he finds the crease after 6, the way he accelerates, it's beautiful. I took the time out to rewatch his runs on Monday against the Colts. The way he picks up speed, and I feel like he has another gear. That's the craziest thing about it. He has another gear. Another thing that was really interesting to me this past weekend with watching Lamar Jackson against the Colts, he took his time to be a pocket passer. I watched the show on The Athletic a lot, the football podcast, and they made a great point. They said everybody goes deep. All the route concepts are deep crossers, goals, post corners, sail routes, all that stuff. There's no check down. There's no there's no standard check down in the Ravens offense. The standard check down in the Ravens offense is, Lamar, if you don't see nobody open and you think you have it, run it. And Lamar's going to run it for about 10, 15 yards. But the fact that Lamar, he's taking his time to look down the field. Even when he scrambles around in the pocket, he's still looking down the field, looking for his deep crosses to open, his corners to open, goal routes to open. That's another level of football right there, where the plan is to make Lamar Jackson a pocket passer. I'm talking to my friends over the weekend about how to beat Lamar Jackson. The plan is to make him a pocket passer. The Colts on Monday, for the majority of the game, made him a pocket passer, especially during the 2-minute drill drive at the end of the fourth quarter to tie the game. They made him a pocket passer. Yes, you play man coverage. He doesn't see nobody open, and then he, shakes one of the linebackers, gets a first down, 15, 20 yards. But for the most part, they made him a pocket passer, and Lamar Jackson was beating them from the pocket. Lamar has my attention, dog. That's what I gotta say. Lamar has my attention. I didn't have Lamar Jackson as a top 5 quarterback. Let's see, midway the season, I'm going to think about it again. I'm going to look at it more. He's very exciting to watch. But now he's starting to beat people up here now. It's not athletic. It's not athleticism no more. He's beating people up here. He's looking off safeties. He's doing his thing. And to be honest, he's not. One of the biggest problems I had with him, his balls used to sail a lot. His balls are not sailing that much anymore. He's driving his back leg and everything, and he's letting that thing rip. Beautiful, beautiful Lamar Jackson. Now he has a very tough opponent this Sunday. I believe that's the game of the week this Sunday. I'm going up against Justin Herbert and the Los Angeles Chargers. They had a track meet this past Sunday, which I would say Eastern time, started around 6:30, maybe 6:15 Eastern time, where him and the Los Angeles Chargers were battling against Baker Mayfield and the Cleveland Browns. The Cleveland Browns, barring injury, the Cleveland Browns might be the best AFC team, barring injury. They might be the best AFC team. I'm going to say it. It's between them and the Bills right now. I think, like I said, I don't think the Ravens are good. I'm going to talk about them a little later, but the Chiefs, there's a lot of things the Chiefs... Well, not a lot of things. It's just the Chiefs' defense has been bad, and they haven't really addressed it because they have the best defensive players on offense. Besides the point, I believe I believe the Browns have the best defense in the NFL at this present moment. For Justin Herbert to torch the Browns for 5 touchdowns, 450 yards. Another, I think, 30, 40 yards rushing, 1 touchdown rushing. Well, yeah, four passing touchdowns, 1 touchdown rushing. He had 5 touchdowns in total. And yes, a lot of stuff was, to be honest, was bad coverage, miscommunication from the Browns, because you don't see wide open receivers in the NFL. You don't see the way Mike Williams was wide open twice on touchdowns. You don't see that. Regardless, this Chargers team is 4-1. I know I said earlier, a couple weeks ago, I said 2 teams that are overrated at this moment that we looked at was the Chargers and the Dolphins. I take back what I said about the Chargers. The Chargers have impressive wins. Should have beat the Cowboys as well. Have impressive wins against the Chiefs in Kansas City, and now the Browns. 2 teams that when it comes to standings and rankings and all that stuff, those guys, you beat those guys, so you'll have the home field advantage, which to some people that's important. Now, Justin Herbert is gonna, I don't want to say being a track meet, but he's gonna do his thing. The offense itself is a spread. 100 miles an hour per minute passing, checkdowns. You have Austin Eckler, who's not a grounder and pounder. He wants to get out in space. He wants to juke you, all that stuff. That's going to be an interesting game against Lamar Jackson. It's in Baltimore, by the way. Against Lamar Jackson, everything I've said about Lamar Jackson, he doesn't really have anybody helping him. Marquise Brown is coming of age. Mark Andrews you still have. I hear their first round pick, Rashad Bateman, is supposed to debut this week. That's going to be a really interesting game. And I believe the Ravens are coming as underdogs. Rightfully so. If you look at both teams in a vacuum, the Chargers are far better than the Ravens. But because of the Lamar Jackson factor, you have to I'm picking the Ravens. Because of the Lamar Jackson factor, Lamar Jackson, I'm not going to say he's Steph Curry, Patrick Mahomes, but what he brings to the table is just far better and far more, I think, way more harder to stop. Defenses don't know what to do. Brandon Staley might have something. He might have something. He's been having something for everybody this season. But for that man to devise a game plan for Lamar Jackson, I think it's impossible now. Because he's beating you up here. Like, he's manipulating defenses now, and he's beating you up here. I don't know how you could beat that, because to beat what he's doing, you just play man coverage. Say, hey, you have to make every perfect throw. But if you put your place in man coverage, he's just gonna run. He's just gonna get 200 yards rushing on you. I don't know. I really don't know. I think it's gonna be the game of the week, 1:00. I have the Ravens winning. Let's say 34-24. I think it'll be a 10-point game. 34-24 Ravens. Next. Let's talk. I talked about them a little bit earlier. No, matter of fact, I'm going to stay on track. So I talked about the Ravens, the Chargers. A team that played the Chargers last week that's in the Ravens division. And it hurts me to talk about this right now. But Baker Mayfield. I like Baker Mayfield a lot. Baker Mayfield is like whatever Colin Cowherd be saying, I vehemently disagree with him from the start. However, last week's game against the Chargers has made me have to start asking the question. In basketball, in the NBA, well, basketball in general, basketball is a team sport. However, there comes times where Team A and Team B are evenly matched. It is up to Team A's leader, best player, to be better than Team B's best player, leader. Whoever in that spectrum is the better one, Team A's leader, Team B's leader, that's the one. That's the team that's gonna win. Football is more. It's the ultimate team sport. However, there comes a time where, and this is recent now. Is my guy better than your guy? Is my quarterback better than your quarterback? In tight games, the way the Chargers and the Browns were on Sunday, is my quarterback better than your quarterback? I'm starting to think, as good as Baker Mayfield is, and when you see Baker Mayfield go up against Justin Herbert, do you think Baker Mayfield is better than Justin Herbert? When you see Baker Mayfield go up against Lamar Jackson, do you think he's better than Lamar Jackson? When you see Baker Mayfield go up against Patrick Mahomes, do you think he's better than Patrick Mahomes? When you think Baker Mayfield going up against Josh Allen, is he better than Josh Allen? So I just named Herbert, Mahomes, Allen, Jackson. Four quarterbacks in the AFC. Is Baker better than Ben Roethlisberger? Hell yeah. Yes. Is he better than Derek Carr? Yes. Is he better than Tua? Yes. Is he better than Mac Jones? Yes. Is he better than Carson Wentz? That's up for the debate. I say yes right now. But I think it's come to that. He's lost 2 games against Mahomes late, where he had a chance to bring his team down to win the game, and then again late when he had a chance to bring the team down to win in Los Angeles. Coaching has a big thing to do. Has a big part in this, where you have to call the right plays. However, a quarterback has to be a quarterback and has to manipulate, check, all that stuff. Baker, he's good enough to be in the conversation. I'll say that. He's good enough to be in the conversation. However, those 4 quarterbacks are always going to be in the conversation. Yeah, I guess I'm like everybody else. I believe in the Justin Herbert hype. Those 4 quarterbacks will be in the dance. Now, Can Baker catch? Baker could catch one quarterback, but all 4 quarterbacks, I don't think so. You could catch Mahomes on a day, the way Herbert caught Mahomes. You could catch Lamar on a day. You could catch Josh Allen on a day. And then the worst thing about it, a lot of people are trying to say, hey, get another quarterback, this and that. Who's really out there to get that's better than Baker Mayfield? There's not that many. You're talking about college? I be hearing the only good college quarterback right now, only first round pick right now is Matt Corral. Are you trying to tank just to get him? Baker's a good quarterback. Don't get me wrong. I'm just the motto of my show. I'm just trying to start the conversation. Where do you put Baker in this realm of AFC quarterbacks? Like I said, I don't think Baker is up there with Mahomes. He showed that to me week 1. What I've been seeing from Lamar Jackson, Baker's not up there with Lamar Jackson. What I've seen from Josh Allen, Baker's definitely not up there with Josh Allen. Justin Herbert right now is willing and dealing. No sophomore slump for my man. And he showed to me that he's better than Baker Mayfield. I guess you have to, what the Browns are doing, you strengthen everything around him. That works. That really does work. But like I said, situations like this past Sunday comes. Can Baker out-duel Josh Allen, Patrick Mahomes, Lamar Jackson, Justin Herbert? And just a question, just food for thought. Okay. Now, this looks like it's just an AFC show, but I guess the AFC right now has all the interesting storylines to be. The Chiefs. The Chiefs. Loser. They're 2-3. Last in the division. Are the Chiefs done for? That's my simple question. Are the Chiefs done for? The Chiefs, two teams that the Chiefs were always able to big brother in the Ravens and the Bills. Lamar got him week 2. Josh Allen got him week 5. And the Chargers got him 2-3. They've lost to 3 great teams right now. What's the problem with the Chiefs? Is it time to panic for the Chiefs? What's going on with the Chiefs? What's going on with the Chiefs is the problem. What is going on with the Chiefs is what has been my biggest problem with the Chiefs since their Super Bowl run 2 years ago. Since I started this podcast, they haven't addressed their defense. I think Chris Jones is an overrated player. He's a good player, but he's not a dominant player. Frank Clark he's a good pass rusher. I'll give him that. Tyrann Mathieu is a good player. I like Tyrann Mathieu. I just named 3 people on the defense. What about the other 8 guys? They're opportunistic. They're situational. I give them that. In the past, not this year. This year they've just been terrible. Have that combined with now teams are telling Mahomes, run the ball, man. We're gonna take away Tyreek Hill, run the ball, do whatever you have to do. And then Mahomes hasn't been Mahomes yet. He's missing people this much. Prime example of that. On how Mahomes' game is this. Week 1 against the Browns, Mahomes throws a prayer that happens to be maybe about 6 inches behind, I believe it was John Johnson, and Tyreek Hill just there to scoop it up for a touchdown. Week 5. First play of the game, actually. Mahomes, there's a breakdown on the Bills defense. Mahomes has a wide open Travis Kelce. Overthrows him. I believe Kelce started looking for the ball a little bit over here. It goes out of bounds. This right here. And now when your best defensive player is starting to miss plays, the whole defense can't rely on Patrick Mahomes. You know? Is it fixable? Hell yeah. They're just missing. I'm gonna tell you guys. I have the schedule up right now. I'm gonna tell you guys the points the Chiefs have been scoring. The Chiefs played the Browns. They scored 33 points. The Chiefs played the Ravens. They scored 35 points. The Chiefs played the Chargers. They scored 24. Chiefs played the Eagles. Scored 42. They scored 20 against the Bills last week. Now, they have 4 games. Then the upcoming 4 games, they play Washington, which I hope is a 60-point blowout because Washington deserves that. The organization deserves that, not the players. The organization. Then you play, I guess, a nemesis, or I would say a nemesis, but more like a. You ever had like a fly running by you all day or something like that, or maybe for a couple hours, and you try to swat it away, but it keeps coming back. That's what they have next. After that, the Titans. The Titans team they're trying to give the division away. Then they play Monday night against the Giants. To be honest, this is not as a Giants fan. The Chiefs could be in trouble. With how bad the Chiefs' defense has been, the Giants' offense has been progressing week by week. There's a lot of mistakes. We're not a great football team. I don't want to say we're not a good football team yet, but we're not a great football team. But offensively, we're getting things done now. We're pushing the ball down the field. We just need to score. That's all we got to do. We just need to score. And then and then they play the Packers again. They play the Packers the week after the Giants. So I believe they play the Packers week 9 because we played the Chiefs week 8. All right, week 6, week 7, week 8. Yeah, week 9. The defense for the Chiefs will be the downfall of the Chiefs. They haven't really addressed it because of the Patrick Mahomes factor. Patrick Mahomes, he really is that guy. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. He really is that guy. However, by having you get spoiled. You get spoiled a little bit. So you have Patrick Mahomes in your bag. So you don't really, you're like, if a team scores, we'll give up this many yards. We'll get up to the 20. We'll make sure they kick a field goal because we know Patrick Mahomes he's gonna get a touchdown in this play. I feel like that's the model in Kansas City. I don't think that will work right now, especially now since you have the Bills. The Bills are not scared of the Chiefs. I thought they were. They're not. The Ravens, I really didn't like. I feel like the Ravens survived the Chiefs. The fumble from Clyde Edwards-Helaire really helped them get back into basically win the game, to be honest. And the Browns. I believe right now the two teams that are capable of beating the Chiefs in the playoffs are the Browns and the Bills. The Browns, the only question with the Browns, Baker versus Mahomes. That's the only question I have, Baker versus Mahomes. Who do I have my trust in? Between Baker against Mahomes. Are they still the best team in the AFC? I've been saying they've been the best team by default. I say right now, the best team in the AFC has to be the Bills. What the Bills did to them, the Bills really punked them. The Chiefs had a lightning delay to get themselves right, and the Bills like, nah, we're still gonna mess y'all up, man. The Bills' biggest opponent last week was the peanut butter. They had too much peanut butter on their sandwiches during the rain delay. I'm just saying how I see it, you know. So I told you guys I've been talking a lot of AFC today. Like I said, I believe the storylines are in the AFC at the moment. What team is going to top off the Chiefs? And I told you right now, it's the Bills. Do I have the Bills as my Super Bowl prediction? No, I do not. I think I should do that. After week 8. Week 8, today is going to be week 6 this week. Week 7, so 3 weeks. In 3 weeks, I will have my Super Bowl prediction. So it'll be a mid-season Super Bowl prediction. I'll give you guys my fantasy Super Bowl prediction and what I really think is going to happen. But first, before I leave you guys today, I want to say thank you guys for watching. Please like, share, subscribe, and just tell your friends about me. I believe I put out good content. I mean, I gotta be a little bit more. I gotta put out more content, but I feel like I put out a good amount of content. And the biggest news, my next episode, I will be chopped up. I will be looking presentable. I apologize, guys. I was boasting up a couple weeks ago saying, "Oh man, I had a nice haircut and all that stuff." Now look at me. It is what it is. But last, I want to talk about for the last couple minutes. I want to talk about the Detroit Lions. If you guys want to end the video, you guys can end the video. But let me talk about the Detroit Lions. I love Dan Campbell. When I first saw his first press conference interview and his no nonsense, that was kind of a facade to say. But I understood where it was coming from. He was trying to put his players on notice, but the more and more you understand him, watch him, he's a very fun-loving guy. Very, very fun-loving guy. He loves his team, and it was shown last week when they lost another heartbreaker against the Minnesota Vikings on a 54-yard field goal from Greg Joseph, not Greg Johnson. And Dan Campbell's on the podium. He's crying. He's saying how these guys, oh my God. He's saying how these guys fight their tails off. That's what he's saying. He's saying how these guys are fighting their tails off. And it hurts that they aren't having their outcomes. Lions have a lot of injuries, especially in the secondary. I want to say best corner, but their number 4 pick of last season, Jeffrey Okudah, he's out for the season, ruptured his Achilles, I believe. And if you look at the end box score, they've been in every game besides the Packers game. They lost by 8 points against the 49ers week 1. Lost in a 66-yard field goal against the Ravens. They lost against a 54-yard field goal against what's the team they just played? The Vikings. They lost by 6 or 7 against the Bears. All winnable games. And then, like I said, there one blowout against the Packers. They were in it. They had the lead. It was 21-17 against the Packers on Monday night. But then I guess, things happen, man. But that's when Dan Campbell gets everything right, that's going to be a team to watch out for. The Lions are playing hard. They're playing hard. They're going to get somebody. I don't know who they play this week, but I don't. Let me see something. Let me see who they're playing this week. I don't think they're going to win. I'll say that. But I do think the game's going to be tough. I believe the game's going to be tough. 0-5. The Lions played the Bengals. That was a tough game. The Lions could easily get the Bengals. But I'll tell you guys this. The Lions will win 2 games in a row. Halloween, and they have a bye, and then they play the Steelers. So right now, the Lions are playing the Bengals, which is a winnable game. It's going to be a close game. Both teams love playing close games anyway. It'll be a close game between the Bengals and the Lions. Then they play the Rams in LA. Oh, that's a good game. That's Jared Goff's return game to LA. Maybe they win that game. They play the Eagles the week after. I think that's a W. Then they play the Steelers. The Steelers are not a good football team. They should have had the Ben Roethlisberger succession plan. I mean, they kind of tried it with Mason Rudolph, but it is what it is. They're gonna beat the Steelers. I'm not gonna say I'm gonna put money on that, but then Falcons they could beat. That's December 26th. Seahawks. I don't know at that time the Seahawks are gonna be fighting for anything. That's January 2nd. About 4 wins. About 4 wins. Yeah, man. Another game that they kind of got blown out was the. Oh no, it's preseason. I'm sorry. Oh. Yeah, 41-33 against the 49ers. 35-17 against the Packers. 19-17 against the Ravens. 24-14 against the Bears. That was just an extra field goal, so it was 21-14 against the Bears. But I like Dan Campbell. I like the attitude. He just looks like a great coach to play for. And the Lions are showing that they want to play for Dan Campbell. Watch out for the Lions, guys. Like I said, thank you guys for watching. What do you guys think about it? All the stuff I said, Jon Gruden situation, Mahomes, Baker Mayfield, all that stuff. This is Gerald Cadet. This is the Corner Store. I'll be back soon. Shout out Shaq Queso. And let him ride us out. Adios. Peace.
So please, boy, don't get hurt. You know I work. All I do is work. I got it out the dirt in the mud. I work. You know the mans, they work. So please, boy, don't get hurt. You know I work. I got it out the dirt. I came out from the dirt in the mud. In the cul-de-sac.